Welcome to NEWS.am. My guest is Mr. Wali Kaleji, expert on Central Asian and Caucasian Studies of the Center of Strategic Studies based in Tehran, Iran. Mr. Kaleji, thank you very much for your time.
Hello, and thank you very much for your invitation. Hello to everyone in Armenia, and I hope that everything is okay for our Armenian people.
Thank you very much. Thank you. We will discuss the ongoing developments in the region. We will discuss the position of Iran on the regional transformations and especially on the ongoing Armenian-Azerbaijan negotiations. And one of the occasions of our interview is the last telephone conversation between the Armenian Prime Minister and the President of the Islamic Republic of Iran, during which also issues related to the Armenian-Azerbaijani agenda was discussed, and Armenian Prime Minister informed President Rouhani about the results and some details of his meeting with Azerbaijan's president held in Brussels on 22 of May. And it's interesting. What do you think? Why was it necessary and important for Iran to discuss with Armenia the results and the details of the Brussels summit and the negotiations between Armenia and Azerbaijan? And why can it be important discuss these issues with Iran for Armenia? What do you think?
Okay, it's clear. It's clear because Armenia and Republic of Azerbaijan are two neighbors of Iran, and it's our right to find result of negotiations between these two countries in Brussels, in Sochi, or in Moscow. Iran has a common border with Armenia and Republic of Azerbaijan, and we should inform aware about the result of negotiation, especially about negotiation on border settling and border discussion between Armenia and Republic of Azerbaijan. If we come back to the summer of 2021, and even in Goris-Kapan road proved that border tension not only between Armenia and Azerbaijan, but also impact directly on Iran transit to Armenia and the Caucasus.
Yes.
Therefore, we need to aware from the result of negotiation between Armenia and Azerbaijan in Brussels and in Sochi, because the negotiation directly impact on Iran national security, Iranian border, and Iranian transit to South Caucasus. It is very important for us. And on the other hand, the new government of Iran, Ibrahim Raisi, follow up the policy of neighborhood, and in this context, Azerbaijan, Republic of Azerbaijan, and Armenia, and also Georgia, are very important for Iran. And we hope that can see stability and peace in the whole of the region. Peace and stability in the Caucasus is in the benefit of the Iran, in our national interest. And therefore, we support the process of negotiation between Republic of Azerbaijan and Armenia, and I hope that, and we hope that opening the transit routes in the region, especially reviving of Soviet Union railroad routes in the southern of Caucasus.
Mr. Kaleji, during the telephone conversation, the President of the Islamic Republic stressed that protecting the geopolitics of the region, including international borders, respecting the national sovereignty of countries and strengthening communication infrastructure between the regions is the principle of the Islamic Republic of Iran. And President Raisi expressed also a hope that issues on the table would be resolved peacefully and based on principles of international law and respect for sovereignty and territorial integrity of two countries. These points will refer to the Azerbaijani claims of the so-called Zangezur corridor and the fact that such a scenario doesn't acceptable for Iran, and about that there are many official announcements by the Iranian side. So why it is important and why it is so vital for Iran to prevent the creation of such kind of corridor through the Sunni region of Armenia?
Okay. Iranian foreign policy permanently struts on keeping of international border, especially in the Caucasus. Iran opposite with any change in recognized international border, and as well as using military forces for changing the border. This is Iranian policy. This is Iranian national security policy. And please pay attention to that. I target this issue in Baku, and now I say you this is my Armenian friends. No different. The Iranian government no opposite with access to Republic of Azerbaijan to Nakhchivan, because 3 decades Iran was the only routes for connecting to Nakhchivan to the mainland of Azerbaijan. 3 decades, for 3 decades. We are opposite to changing international border. We are opposite with delimitation of Iranian and Armenian border. We are opposite with using military forces. Iran believed that all of connection between Republic of Azerbaijan and Armenia and Nakhchivan via Armenian lands should be certification of Armenian government, not but use the forces. Certification of Armenia is very important. Non-changing of international border is very important. Keeping 40 kilometers of Iran and Armenian border is very important. 3 issues are Iranian red lines for this corridor. And we hope that in negotiation between Republic of Azerbaijan and Armenia, as well as the model of 3+3, we can discuss about these issues and reduce Iran and Armenian concern about these matters.
So, Mr. Kaleji, if Azerbaijan always announces what relates to Armenia and the negotiations with Armenia, that if not in the result of the negotiation process, it will take what it wants also by using military forces. And what can be the reaction of Iran, for example, if Azerbaijan tries to open such kind of corridor in its terms by using military force, by military offensive to Armenian Sunni region or something else? What are the leverages and the practical resources that Iran can take and that Iran can use in order to preserve the current geopolitics in the region and preserve or help to preserve the borders that are internationally recognized in this region, what refers to the Armenian-Iranian border.
Okay. As I mentioned it in my previous talks, Iran permanently opposite to any military action or reactions in the Caucasus.
Which can destabilize the region and the northern regions of Iran.
Yes, this because any war and instability directly impact on Iranian northwestern borders. Please pay attention to this important point that in the first Karabakh War and the second Karabakh War, Iran was only country that imprisoned the Karabakh War directly. Our situation is very different with Turkey, Georgia, and Russian Federation. Iran was directly imprisoned by the Karabakh War, in both wars. And therefore, any war, any instability, any military action in the Caucasus, especially in Karabakh and in between Armenia and Azerbaijan, is a threat against Iran national security. And therefore, we cannot approve. We cannot approve any military actions in the region. And if we come back to September and October 2021, you saw Iranian military maneuver in northwestern of Iran. That was a greatest military maneuver after the collapse of the Soviet Union. This military game was a clear message for regional and international players to changing international borders and changing geopolitical pictures in the South Caucasus. We need to stability, we need to peace, we need to continuation of peace talks between Armenia and Republic of Azerbaijan, as well as Armenia and Turkey. And we can work on many common issues, especially electricity between Iran, Armenia, Republic of Azerbaijan, Georgia, and Russia. Another issue will be reviving of Soviet Union rail routes. Another issue can be environment in the Caucasus. Another issue can be Kura-Arax river in the region. We can discuss about North-South corridor and Persian Gulf, Black Sea. Yes, Black Sea corridor. We have many common issues that we can together talk about this issue. And therefore, military action and using force is not a solution for solving the problems of the South Caucasus.
Do you think that the platform 3+3, Georgia doesn't take part in this format yet because of its own position relating to the relations with Russia, etc. But what do you think? Can this format be effective, taking into account the fact that the interests and the positions on many issues, especially on political issues, are varied among the many states taking part part in this format? What do you think? Is it possible to work in the framework of this format?
Okay, I agree with you that unfortunately Georgia didn't participate in the model of 3+3, and in the last meeting of this model in Moscow, you saw that the flag of Georgia was the meeting.
There was an announcement that the door is still open for Georgia.
Yes, this is open. Yes, this is it means that this pattern welcome Georgia for participation in the future. But in the Russian and Ukrainian war, Georgia completely defend Ukraine, and in the July, South Ossetia will be held a referendum to join Russian Federation that can be repetition of Crimea model in the Caucasus, and therefore tension, unfortunately, tension between Georgia and Russia will increase in the future, and therefore this issue can be negative impact on the model of 3+3 in the Caucasus. But I believe that in spite of this fact, I believe that we should move step by step. I believe that Armenia and Republic of Azerbaijan, after the Second Karabakh War, are the same place and position of France and Germany after the Second World War. France and Germany began their cooperation from steel and coal. Republic of Azerbaijan and Armenia can begin and start our cooperation from transit and rail routes. In fact, rail and transit routes can play the same role of coal and steel in European after the Second World War. We should move from the low politics to high politics, step by step, in a realistic approach. Rail connections, transit connections, environment, water, Kura and Aras River, and electricity can be technical and non-political issues can help to the countries of the region in a unit, in a one format of the negotiations. We can use the experience of the European countries after Second World War in the region. We should be patient and move step by step to cooperation, and in next step, integration of the South Caucasus. We hope that after 3 decades of tensions and war and differences between the countries of the region, we hope that can establish a regional organization of the Caucasus. For example, ASEAN, for example, Arab countries leagues in the Caucasus, in the regional organization, can play a key role in the region.
When we were taking part in an international conference related to the issues of the South Caucasus held in Baku in April this year, I noticed that you asked the Azerbaijani president what concrete maps of the Soviet Union period can be on the table for the delimitation, demarcation of the Armenian-Azerbaijani border. So it's interesting. Are the results of the possible demarcation and delimitation between Armenia and Azerbaijan important for Iran? Because, for example, taking into account the fact that, for example, the Armenian village named Tigranashen, which is a village of the Arat region of Armenia, Azerbaijan considers that this region is its exclave, and etc., and demands that the territory should be passed to under its control, etc. That hasn't any serious legal basis, but the issue is another. There is a concern by Iran that in the results of such kind of scenario, there would be some problems related to the transit from Iran to Armenia, because, for example, this region of the Arat region is on its way from Iran to Yerevan. Can it make some problems for Iran, and why is the demarcation between Armenia and Azerbaijan important for the Iranian side?
Yes, certainly. The map of Soviet Union in the process of negotiation between Republic of Azerbaijan and Armenia is very important for Iran because it's related to Iran and Armenian border. For example, in some of the Soviet Union maps, that Republic of Azerbaijan can be used, them in Zangezur of Eastern Zangezur or Western Zangezur, maybe delimitation of Iran and Armenian border. As I mentioned it in my previous answer, Iran is opposite. Iran is opposite with any changing in international border in the Caucasus. We need to Iran and Azerbaijan border as well as Iran and Armenian border. It's very clear. We need to both common border in the region. Iran have 1,750 kilometers border with the Republic of Azerbaijan and 40 kilometers with Armenia. Both of them are very important for us. We need two transit routes to the Caucasus. Opening of both borders is very important for us. Therefore, in the process of negotiation between Republic of Azerbaijan and Armenia, we should inform, we expect that the leaders of two countries and foreign ministries of Armenia and Republic of Azerbaijan, as well as Russian Federation, inform Iranian government and foreign ministry about the maps and the result of negotiation on border management and border settlements in Brussels or in Moscow, no different. That because it's directly impact on Iranian national security and Iranian border lines in north and western of Iran.
Mr. Kaleji, beginning from 1990s, the only format, international recognized format that have an international recognized mandate for the resolution of the Nagorno-Karabakh conflict was the OSCE Minsk group and the co-chairmanship format of this group. And all the negotiations were held in this format, what relates to the Nagorno-Karabakh conflict. But after the war, and especially after the start of the Ukrainian crisis, the military confrontation, this format doesn't work anymore. And Russia, as a country that has good relations, strategic relations with Armenia and a good partnership with Azerbaijan, and is a regional power, also has the Russian peacekeepers are located in Nagorno-Karabakh, suggests his support to Armenia and Azerbaijan for the peace talks, for delimitation, demarcation, and etc. But there is also a new mediator in the Armenian-Azerbaijan talks. This is the European Union. There are very intensive contacts by the mediation of Brussels. And it's interesting, what is Iran's position about the European active mediation in the context of the regional transformations in general?
Okay. Generally, Iran support any mediation efforts for reducing tensions in the regions, in the Caucasus, and establishment of peace and stability in the region. As I mentioned, reducing of tension borders between Armenia and Republic of Azerbaijan is an opening of transit routes in the region are Iran national interest and Iran support from this process. However, Iran prefer the regional problems in the Caucasus can solve by the
regional powers.
By the region, yes, this is a region. And Iran in the 3 decades opposite for any with interference of international players in developments of the region. If you come back to the beginning of the 1919, unfortunately, Iran was not a member of Minsk group. And Minsk group, Iran, one of the first mediator of the Karabakh conflict in the beginning of the 1919, but unfortunately Iran was not didn't present in the Minsk groups, and therefore Iran prefer the problems and tension in the region can solve by the Armenia, Republic of Azerbaijan, Georgia, plus Turkey, Iran, and Russian Federation. This model, I think that Iran support this model in the regional model, but in general, no opposite with efforts of European in the region. But we expect, as I mentioned, that the European and Russian Federation inform Republic of Azerbaijan and Armenia inform Iran about the result of this negotiation. Iran is some part of solution in the Caucasus, not some part of the problems in the region.
And it's interesting also if the European mediation, which is supported also by the United States, the other co-chairman state in the format of the Minsk group. If this mediation is effective, it can bring to larger influence of the Western countries of the European Union in this region. Doesn't it a problem for Iran?
Not at all. Iran in the region, in the Caucasus, in particular, with opposite of NATO military influences, as well as Israel influences in the region. But Iran can join to energy transit to Europe. And you know that Iran has 10% of Shah Deniz gas field in Republic of Azerbaijan, and Iranian companies NEWS has 10% share of Shah Deniz gas field, and therefore Iran can play a role in the exporting of energy to European countries, especially after the Russia and Ukraine war. Iranian main concern is military approach of NATO and security and intelligence influences by Israel in the region.
And Mr. Kaleji, has the project of the Trans-Caspian gas pipeline, which could export also the Turkmenish gas to the European markets, has this project any chances to be implemented, taking into account various geopolitical transformations also in our region? There's a hypothesis that under the European mediation, the possible export of also the energetic resources from the Central Asian region is also one of the aims of this this active mediation. What's your take on this hypothesis?
In the energy in Caspian Sea?
Yes. The possible pipeline that could be constructed under in the Caspian Basin, but there is a declaration on the legal status of the Caspian Sea from 2018, which gives some leverages both to Russia and Iran to have influence on this process.
Iran and traditionally, Iran and Russia opposited with Trans-Caspian pipeline for two considerations: earthquake in the land of Caspian Sea, and in the environment. Therefore, from the beginning of 2000, Tehran and Moscow opposite with this pipeline. And we believe that this situation in the Caspian Sea is different with Adriatic Sea and Black Sea for underlying pipeline in the sea. But on the other hand, the Caspian Sea, the legal convention of the Caspian Sea recognized the passing of pipeline in the Caspian Sea in general. But Turkmenistan, Kazakhstan, Russian Federation, and Republic of Azerbaijan approved the legal Convention of Caspian Sea in their parliament. But Iran not approved up to present time because we have some geographical and write and allow considerations about the convention, this convention. Another fact is that after the Russian and Ukraine war, Central Asian, Caspian Sea, and Republic of Azerbaijan are the alternative for exporting of gas to Europe. Qatar, Algeria.
It's a vital necessity for the European market.
Yes,
from their point of view.
Certainly. And therefore, it's predictable that in the future, we can see more negotiation about this issue. In July, if I rank in next meeting of littoral states of Caspian Sea, maybe in Turkmenistan, that's very important for the legal convention of the Caspian Sea and passing the Trans-Caspian pipeline from Turkmenistan to Republic of Azerbaijan and European countries.
Mr. Kaleji, thank you very much for this very interesting interview.
Thank you very much, and I hope that we had seen peace and stability for our all of neighbors, Armenia, Republic of Azerbaijan, and Georgia, in the beautiful and history regions of the Caucasus.
Thank you. My guest was Vali Kaleji, expert on Central Asian and Caucasian Studies of the Center of Strategic Studies based in Tehran, Iran.